The Dads That Game radio podcast is brought to you by Video Games Monthly. Video Games Monthly is a monthly subscription service that delivers retro video games to gamers who own classic gaming systems from the 1980s through 2000s. And the best part is, you keep the games. Check us out at videogamesmonthly.com.
Live from his wife's basement, still gaming into their elder years. This is the Dads That Game radio podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Michael Wolf and William Small.
Welcome to the Dads That Game radio podcast. The only podcast with that fresh-smelling dad smell. Yeah.
Fresh-smelling dads, all right.
Just smells like what would it smell like? I don't know. Failure and
like I don't know, like Old Spice, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, Old Spice and failure. What does failure smell like? I don't know. Just
why does it have to be failure though?
I don't know.
Why can't it just smell like old?
Yeah, but I just feel like a lot of dads in our lives are, they probably failed, many times in their lives, and I don't know. Maybe it's just. I mean, sometimes that's how I feel. I feel like a failure. So I guess. I don't know.
I don't think you're a failure.
Oh, thank you.
I think you're okay.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks for chipping me right up there, buddy. After the last couple 72 hours that I've had, I could really use some chipping up. Dear God. So I won't go into the gritty details of what happened. Let's just say it involves a ball that's attached to me. I'm guessing if you can. If you're smart, you could probably figure it out. This ball got an infection and put this dad in the hospital. So, ouch. Yeah.
Infected ball.
Pretty much.
In the hospital.
It was rough. That's all I gotta say. So thank you to anybody who actually saw my post on Facebook, and everybody. I didn't think that many people liked me. Like, honestly. Maybe
they're just being nice.
Maybe that's
maybe
true.
They really don't like you.
Well, thank you. Now I feel like a failure again. See, we tied it all back in. See, I see how it is. All right.
See, I just have to bring it back to reality. That's all. I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
The one thing though, it would have been a really perfect time for you to play on your Switch.
That's true, but I didn't really think of it because I was just inserting pain.
Because ball and pain and yeah.
So I really didn't. Yeah, like I said, it wasn't like I was just like, oh God, I'm in pain. Better grab my Switch. So really didn't, didn't really work out that way. So just saying.
I can understand. Yeah.
I'm just saying. So, but I'm all better now. I'm more frustrated today than I have been ever. Obviously, we're recording a little bit later than we normally would. We said we're going to be on 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. It's about 8:26 because Google Chrome was giving me some troubles. So I had to smack it down and uninstall it. So, not fun. I really like Google Chrome too, but if it's going to act like that, you can just forget it.
Yeah.
So, that's what I say to a lot of people. If you can act like that, you can just forget it. So, not doing anything for you? Okay, no? Okay.
a little bit. It was all right.
Gotcha. For those that paid attention to our Facebook page, hopefully you did. This is the episode, and hopefully many more episodes, depending on how tonight goes, where you can call in. So, yeah, I'll wait. I'm just gonna wait till
Should I call?
Yeah. Well, you already did. I called you.
Oh.
But I mean, if other people want to call.
All right. Yeah. Now's the time.
Even the person
they might.
Yeah. Even the person that gave me this idea. Wink, wink, hint, hint. Maybe tonight would be the night to call. We'll see how it goes. If nobody calls, I'm not gonna worry about it. It's all good. We're still gonna bring you a show. But obviously, this is show 114 to be official. We are live on noobsandpros.com. Not live, but you can find your show there. Just click on the link that says Dads That Game. I try to be quirky with my stupid. I think I'm gonna stop saying stupid because it's not stupid. It's funny to me. It's funny to me. So if it's funny to me, it ends up on the show. But I try to put out a message every week, like just a general topic of this week. but I do it in a silly voice changer voice because I have this little program. So it made me laugh. Maybe people are just like, you're dumb. I get that a lot. So I'm just saying. But obviously check us out there. Thank you to Podcast Radio Network too. You can find our show there Thursday nights, 7:00 Eastern Standard Time. Please support them. You can download their apps. Download the Crikey app, KRYKEY. Also the TuneIn app. On Crikey, just tune into 102.6. TuneIn, just search for the Podcast Radio Network. You can also just say, "Hey, Alexa." Okay, she's listening. Up. Alexa, stop. Just stop. Just stop. Stop, Alexa. For the love of God, just stop. Okay, she's not listening. You can also tell her to search for the Podcast Radio Network on the TuneIn app too. So I don't know.
She will listen.
Hopefully, mine doesn't listen. She's like I don't know. She's like my child sometimes. She just listens when she wants to listen, But I think that's every kid. I'm pretty sure. Or it's
pretty much.
Or it's like a wife sometimes. She just hears what she wants to hear. So funny story about that. So I don't know where this came from, but my wife had like the longest impression. Like one time if I say I don't want something or I don't like something, in a certain night, like my wife gets the idea that I don't want it ever. And that's further from that's further from the truth. She's like, I was like, well, do you want to do Sloppy Joes? And then she's like, you don't like Sloppy Joes. And I'm like, when did I ever say that? Like, maybe not tonight, but like not for the rest of my life.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
She's listening and she's trying to make sure she never feeds you or does something that you don't like.
Right, but it doesn't mean
that's really good.
But I'm usually pretty good, about trying new things and things I like and things I don't like. Like I hate seafood. Like just hate it with a passion. So she doesn't serve it, which is fine. But I've never said I don't like Sloppy Joes. Who doesn't like a Sloppy Joe? I'm just saying.
I don't know. I was gonna say vegans, but at the same time, I've been making it with like meatless crumble. Like it looks and kind of has the consistency of ground beef. And not for nothing, but they're not bad. I have a really good homemade recipe for the sauce and everything, and it's good.
Gotcha. I have no idea where we're going with this. Got it.
Yeah, Sloppy Joes. Sloppy Joes.
Right. Got it.
I guess more dad.
More dad news? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, more dad stuff.
This is just what we do. I mean, honestly, this is this is the show.
This is the show.
This is us. This is just week after week of us just
Bill and
randomly.
Mike on the left turn.
Pretty much. I like that. That would be your podcast. We'll do that every other week. That'd be great.
Yeah.
So we'll just
constantly taking left turns.
Well,
it
would be funny. Like one week we'll do Dad's the Game, and then like the next week we'll do left turn, and then we'll do the left turn again because that's the left turn of the Dad's the Game. You thought it was going to be a pattern, but it's not.
Right.
So
you get back on topic. Yeah,
right.
Yep, exactly.
All right, so we'll get into the show. There's a lot to talk about this week. Dear God.
There is, yeah.
Just a lot. We have Fallout 76 news. There's Sony news. There's God of War news. There's Smash Brother news. There's Resident Evil 2 news. Just a lot of news. News. Everywhere. Also, there's a funny story about IGN this week, and I'm going to talk a little lengthy about IGN today.
Yeah.
Because I think we need to. I think we honestly need to sit down and have a conversation about IGN.
Yeah.
How the mighty have fallen. That's all I'm going to say today. Yeah.
Before we can even get into that, I just wanted to just throw it out there that I just recently wrote a review for Dead Cells. It's a video review.
Oh, sweet.
And I swear that it has absolutely no... you can't compare it at all to the IGN review or the Boomstick review. I didn't word for word, use their material.
That's good. Maybe you should have saved that joke when we were talking about the topic, but okay. That was good.
Oh, I was just, that's what I was doing. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay.
In general.
Got it.
But
we'll get into it. We'll get into it today because it's not the only thing obviously IGN's got going on for it right now, and we'll talk about them. Just because I think like with IGN, I'll save it because obviously I want to get into the game of the week. Obviously, games you can get yourself this week. I'm sorry, yeah. So we'll talk about that first. The game of the week this week, I'm gonna let you talk about it because I have not played it as of yet. But you said it's fantastic. But Dead Cells.
Oh my God.
We talked about everybody. I mean, obviously this is what the big hot button issue is right now. Obviously with the IGN story, But talk about it. I mean, what do you like? What do you hate? I mean, what exactly is the game premise about, I guess?
So it starts you off as the game has no real anything to set you up. You start off as a weird little amorphous blob who rolls over into a suit of armor, and you sort of materialize, and your head is like a glowing, I don't know, kind of like a little glowing fire.
Yeah.
And the first couple times you die and do that scenario, you'll have random things that will talk to you, whether it be vendors or people that kind of give you some sort of insight into what you're doing, but they don't know why you keep coming back to life either. So the premise is you can't die. Or you can die, but you'll never all the way die.
Sure.
You keep being reborn, and every time you're reborn, you start off in the room that you start off in. But the world around you changes. So it's procedurally generated, and every playthrough, it still has, the beginning level is the dungeon, and then you can branch into one or two different directions depending upon how long you play.
Right.
Now, every time you play and every time you die, you lose everything that you have on you.
Sure.
So you lose your money, you lose when you kill certain, not every enemy, but when you kill specific, some enemies, they'll drop little blue things called cells. Every time you complete a level, you have to spend all the cells you've earned.
Right.
Now, those don't go away. Whatever you earn there's things that, will constantly be available, where things that you can unlock. So currently, I've unlocked it so that every time I die and start over, any sword or bow that I have unlocked so far, I'll randomly get one of those now, rather than the starter weapons.
Oh, cool.
I also have unlocked the fact that now I get 2 flasks of life potion. And so it makes the game easier as you do these things, because you do have permanent upgrades that will stick with you even if your weapons don't. And when you kill bosses, they give you runes, and those are permanent upgrades that will change the environment around you. Like one I got that made little green puddles turn into vines. Another one makes weird little statues teleport you. So it just kind of the same way Metroid does it, where it opens up more of the map and places you couldn't get to before, and so on and so forth. But so far, there's really nothing I don't like. Like a lot of games like this, like roguelikes, I don't have the patience for it. I remember playing games like Don't Starve or whatever, and I'd be on day 45 and die, and then that's the end of my game. And it would really make me mad. But this, it keeps hooking you every single time, just to get a little bit further and a little bit further. And I'm on the last level right now. So
that's cool.
I don't know if I'm going to make it. I mean, I have a huge amount of life currently.
Yeah.
I have 2 full flasks. I have the two side weapons that I like to use that are like turrets. They're super strong. I've got everything is going for me, but it doesn't matter, because all it takes is, jumping into something I'm not sure about how the mechanic will work, and I'll die. So we'll see what happens, but I've been playing it nonstop since Thursday.
That's
and
cool.
I can't say enough good things. And I'm playing it on the Switch, and they were saying that there were times where it slows down, and I have very rarely seen any weird, super big dips. Yeah. I mean, it occasionally happens when there's a lot of effects and a lot of enemies are exploding and dying all at the same time. But there's also a couple mechanics that slow time down anyway, so it kind of almost feels like that's all that's happening, and not that the game is buggy or anything.
Yeah.
So I can't recommend it enough. If you like Metroid, if you like Castlevania, if you like just exploring a dungeon that will always be different, but the area that you're in has the same aesthetic each time, but the dungeon itself is different.
Yeah.
Pick it up, play it,
nice.
And I guarantee you'll love it. So
gotcha.
There's my glowing review. It was unlike anybody else's. Copyright, small.
Small copyright. No, I've heard a lot of cool things about it. Obviously, it's getting rave reviews. Obviously, it's causing a lot of controversy right now. Obviously, because of the review process. But no, cool, very cool. So let's talk about. I like I said, I have nothing to say about it right now. I have not had a chance to pick it up. I've been super busy and hospitalized. So, you know. But let's talk about, obviously, games you can get your hands on this week. So we'll start off with, obviously, this is going to be running you through the 13th today, all the way up until the 18th. Woo! Big old week for you, especially if you're an MMO fan. Woo! There's a big game coming out. Let's start off with PlayStation 4, though, on August 14th. You're going to be able to get yourself Death's, not 3 times, just Death's Gambit. So Death's Gambit on PS4, Phantom Doctrine on PS4 and PC, Super Knight Riders on PS4, Terra Tech on PS4, Vroom Kaboom! What is that game about? I want to know. I'm confused.
Vroom Kaboom?
It's Vroom, like cars. Like Vroom, you know. Vroom,
okay,
Vroom.
Vroom. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you for making me say that twice. Great. Vroom Kaboom on PS4. Wailing Heights on PS4. The Walking Dead, the final season, finally came out on PS4. Here's a big one for all you PC nerds out there. Woohoo! World of Warcraft, Battle for Azeroth. I don't know how they're doing this game. The reason
Which one?
Well, because isn't Blizzard moving to just the subscription base? So do you have to buy this one, or is it just signing up for the subscription?
Nope. What it means is, if you pay your $15 a month, like let's say you'd never played WoW before, if you pay $15 right now, you'll get all the way up to Legion, which was the last expansion.
Gotcha.
You do have to buy Battle for Azeroth.
Okay. I was going to say, I was like, that's a weird time for them to switch over the program.
No,
there.
so you do have to buy Battle of Azeroth, but let's say you've never played WoW before and this was your jumping in point. You don't have to buy all the expansions. Just pay your $15 monthly fee. And once you do that, you just buy this current expansion, and you are golden.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
that makes sense.
That being said, the servers are actually live already.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they went live today. They went live today, didn't they?
Yeah. Okay. So it's already available. You can already play it. Apparently, they were having, like every time they do an expansion, they were having some issues with people not being able to log in.
Sure.
But I think it's already been kind of sorted out.
Rectified.
It made me curious. You know, I went ahead and I just messed around in the low areas, but I didn't buy the expansion.
True.
But I think I probably might.
It's a hard pass for me, bro. Sorry.
I don't want to, but it's calling me. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things.
Here's the thing about me. I have an addicting personality. I don't know if you know that. I've never turned to alcohol. I've never turned to drugs. Video games has always been my
And I do know that you were given an ultimatum, and you chose not to do that. So
pretty much.
It seems, you know what's funny is I haven't played in so long. Like you, I gave up a while ago.
But I heard I heard it's just a night and day difference though, from where it was to what it is now. Like they've totally reworked the combat, and I mean, it's just everything's different. Yeah.
I put it on Ultra, just in a starting area I rolled an undead warlock, right? And so I put it on Ultra for everything, so it had the best of the best of the best. And I got to say, they've changed the way even spells work because, just throwing out 2 spells, it was making it so that it was doing, random things. And, like the effects were popping in a way that I never saw them before. So it was really, really cool. So even just that much, knowing that all the high areas, everything is just really, really cool.
Cool.
So I absolutely, I mean, they did do a bunch of changes. Who knows if it's, worth it long term. And I'm sure the new areas look beautiful.
Sure. I gotcha. I think like it's one of those games where it's like if you didn't stick with it, I don't know if I would enjoy going back into it. So I don't know. I mean, to each his own. I know people that still play it, and they've been playing it since day one. I mean, they been playing it 10+ years. So I mean, it's definitely popular. It's just obviously it's not for me. I'm sorry. I just got other things that I like to do and other games I like to play. So it's all good. But also on the 14th, you can get yourself read-only memories on Nintendo Switch, Cosmic Star Heroine on Nintendo Switch, Detective Gallo on PS4 and Nintendo Switch, State of Mind on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4, Manuel Samuel. Wow. Okay. That is actually, I'm sorry. State of Mind is coming out on the 15th. Manuel Samuel is coming out on the 16th. And then, let me see what else we got in here. Hero Defense, Haunted Island on PlayStation 4 on the 16th. Roboto on Nintendo Switch on the 16th. Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. Fantastic. That's going to be the name of my band. And actually, I've had that game at Battlegrounds before. So very, very cool to see that's finally coming out. Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes is basically, it's a bomb defusal game to where there's a bomb placed in front of you and there's a manual to it. And you basically the bomb gives out certain things or certain, combinations. And it's kind of like a party game. So basically one person has the manual and then the other person basically is defusing the bomb. So the bomb does certain things or has different wires that you have to cut and then basically does different other things. So you defuse it and it basically makes you talk back and forth to the person that has the manual. So that's actually been at Battlegrounds before. So that's actually really cool that it's coming out this soon. But it'll be on Switch on the 16th. It'll be interesting to see if that actually will have the manual or if it would just be incorporated in the game. I don't know. But also Red's Kingdom on Nintendo Switch. Switch? It's the Switch.
Nintendo Switch.
It's the new Switch. Red's Kingdom on Nintendo Switch. Persian Knights, Sands of Wonders on PlayStation 4 on the 17th, actually. Treadnoughts. Is that anything like Aquanauts, maybe? I don't know. Probably not. That is going to be on the 17th. Trip on PC, Mac, and Linux. Under Night in Birth, X, EXE, late, est, semicolon, ST. That was the weirdest name ever. That is coming out on the 20th, actually, and that will end it. That's actually Monday, so I apologize. I gave you a little teaser. And Under Night in Birth, EXE, that actually has been on PS4 before. That's a Japan game. So, fantastic. Hang in there. Obviously, more games right around the corner coming up at the end of this month and obviously starting next month. So, stay tuned for those. Kind of getting to the slow weeks, but I would say all you World of Warcraft fans out there will probably be super busy playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. But let's get into it. Obviously, our first story today, we're going to talk about, obviously, the debacle that happened at IGN this week. But I really have to kind of put in my own 2 cents. I'm kind of getting tired of IGN. And I'll say it this way. And look, there's been some great talents that have come from IGN. Just fantastic talents. There's still some fantastic talents that work there. I have nothing against the company. I question the validity of their writers sometimes. The reason being, and obviously I'll get into the story, but then I'll talk about my own personal spin on it, is IGN basically fired Nintendo editor, Philip Munikin. I'm probably mispronouncing his name. I apologize. After launching an investigation into claims of plagiarism. The Treble basically outlet began yesterday when Munikin was accused of plagiarizing sections of his Dead Cells review. The accusations came from YouTuber Boomstick Gaming, who noted several similarities between his review of the game and Munikin's. Shortly afterward, IGN took steps to remove the text portion of Munikin's Dead Cells review and replace it with the editor's note that reads, "As a group of writers and creators who value our own work, and that others in our field, the editorial staff of IGN takes plagiarism very seriously. Considering concerns that have been raised about our Dead Cells review, we removed it from the time being and are investigating." And then they fired him, is what I heard. So he's been fired. He then launched a very unapologetic YouTube video, basically indicating that he never plagiarized anything, and he was basically just very defiant, and he felt it was unfair to obviously fire him. Obviously, they're still investigating this. I don't know if it's going to turn out in a situation to his favor. Obviously, we'll bring you more as we find out what's going on, but it kind of leaves me in my own 2 cents about IGN and the way it's heading as a company right now. Look, IGN is something that I've obviously for me, like as a young man, it was always G4 TV and IGN. Like that's how I got my information, and then everything else blew up. I mean, maybe GameStop was GameSpot, I'm sorry. They were, just starting out. Kotaku has already been around, but Kotaku is very weird just because it's always article written, and it's not really a user-friendly interface a lot of the times.
Yeah, I like Kotaku, and I like the people that write for them, but like you said, their website is kind of hard to navigate.
It is, yeah. It's not very user-friendly, and I would say it's very article-based. So, I mean, you're going to be able to find the best articles and some of the best writers about gaming news on Kotaku. But IGN had the market when it came to accessibility on a website. They made it very easy to navigate, made it very easy to find what you're looking for. They've had some of the greatest talents. I mean, obviously Greg Miller, those guys are still killing it. Obviously Naomi Kyle, she's left the company. A lot of great people, just a lot of great people that have been a part of that company that have obviously left right now to, pursue other projects. Didn't leave on bad terms whatsoever. But to get back to my point is basically, I feel like IGN is either getting lazy for one, or the caliber of writing has gone down. And the reason I say that is because there's been multiple articles out there to where I don't know what it is, but I don't know why they keep on comparing games to games. Like, is this game the next, what have they been saying lately? They're like, is this game the next Dark Souls 3? Is this game the next
Fortnite?
Is this the next Fortnite? Is this game, that, and it's really kind of, basically it's really putting a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. I know I'm not the only one complaining about this, because I've heard multiple people complaining about this. They're like, no, Darksiders 3 is Darksiders 3. The other game is completely different. There may be some similarities to the games together, but it's like, why are we basically classifying this category of like, oh, that's just another, Dark Souls game, or oh, this is just another Fortnite game. It's like, at least respect the developers enough to at least give them their own, individuality in the project that they created.
Yeah.
So, and I was even reading an article the other day on IGN to where, I don't remember what it was. I think it was Overwatch or something like that. And they had a piñata in Overwatch, and they're like, is Overwatch paying homage to Fortnite? And everybody would like rip them a new, like everyone ripped them a new one. They're like, no, it's just a damn piñata. It's like when I see a piñata out in the store, I'm like, oh, that store's playing homage to Fortnite.
So should we now, when we see Fortnite's piñata thing, should we be like, oh, they're paying homage to Viva Piñata?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's at the point to where it's just these comparisons, I guess, are just getting super ridiculous. Yeah. And I mean, if you plagiarized, I understand. Obviously, plagiarism, especially in the media world, not gonna fly. Okay, and I mean, you can say you didn't do it, but obviously the investigation will come out. They'll either find you guilty or not guilty. I wish you the best of luck. I really do, Philip. But
I wish him luck. But at the same time, that he actually, I believe, from what I heard, he actually pulled his
review from Boomstick. Yeah,
like his not apology.
Oh, okay.
He actually pulled that. He pulled that off of his YouTube page.
Right.
But enough people had already seen it in every outlet, everywhere. I don't know how he's going to find work. So,
well, especially in writing, because I mean,
exactly. Being that there's 2 other articles that people have now shown, that were almost word for word somebody else's work.
Sure.
So, hey.
Well, if you're listening, buddy, there's always a job here at the Dad's the Game Radio podcast. I can't pay you anything, but feel free to write for us. I mean, you can play
if you choose to actually write.
Right? Yeah. I mean, you can write, but I mean, please make sure you quote other people. Otherwise, you'll get in trouble. So I'm just saying. Just cold quotes, people. Look it up. A lot of people are like, quotes? What are those? Can't just put anything you want that other people created in your own stuff. Yeah. Sorry. But I don't know what happened to IGN. Like, I don't know with the changes and things like that. I thought it was going in the right direction. I know, like, a lot of people left. Like, I know Greg and, his whole crew left because, because they didn't like the way the direction we're going. So they're like, well, we're just going to go do our own thing. And they've been very successful ever since. That was exactly why they left, is because they didn't like the direction of, like, they wanted to do more. They wanted to do more of this, more of that, what people wanted to see, give the people what they wanted. And, they were basically told no. Yeah.
They didn't like to be told no, and that they couldn't do things the way that they wanted. And that, I completely get it. With a company as big as IGN having to do things a certain way.
Sure.
Because, that was what their marketing and whatever told them they had to do.
Right.
So, it just, you need, with them opening up their own thing, they can say what they want, they can do what they want.
Well, and I feel like that's kind of I kind of feel like that's the way that we're shifting, like media is shifting. Like media, media, movies and music. Like if you're able to put it out yourself and make money off of it and totally have, creative control behind it, there's no company in the world that can tell you, like, you can say this, you can say that, you can do this, you can do, you can't do that. And I think that's where a lot of why they're like, if you look at even like television, like if you look at the writers for NBC, CBS, ABC, a lot of those writers are leaving and they're going to things like Netflix and Hulu and HBO because they offer a lot more freedom, more creative freedom. Yeah. And same thing with music. I mean, you see like music with Spotify and all these other, services out there. Like, we don't need record industries anymore. We don't need massive networks anymore. It's like, everything's at our fingertips and you can be very profitable about it. And this is the same kind of, thing that I'm seeing with obviously the move from media companies. Like, you can just go start your own stuff and you can be very successful if you know how to do it. But I mean, to get back on point, obviously it's not cool to plagiarize. If you did it, obviously, I mean, it's an easy fix too. I mean, just per quote, from Boomstick Gaming, but I mean, obviously I know that's not original and they're looking for originality. I mean, it probably would have been denied if he did that, but it's like, don't be a douche about it. That's all I got to say. So, and like I said, with IGN, I don't know. I don't know where the problem is. I don't know how to fix it. I just know what I see and I know what I hear. And a lot of people are just getting tired of the whole comparison. This game, is this game the next, I feel like they do that article. Like, I look at Facebook all the time, or I'll look at IGN and, all the time, because I'm constantly, looking for information to bring to you, our audience. But it's like, I read, probably 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 20 sometimes different, media sources of just news that I can find. Because obviously I'm not in the industry. I'm not writing, obviously my own reports and my own things that I've, been able to go research and do things like that. I'm not a reporter. I have a regular daytime job. We do this, just for a hobby and for fun. Hopefully someday we can be successful with it. I would say we're successful mostly, but I just kind of feel like, it's like, if you're reading this stuff and you keep on getting the same outcome every time, it's like, I think they're kind of bringing it back on themselves too. It's like, well, they're like, we've just gotten lazy, so now we're going to start stealing other people's stories. And I kind of feel like, maybe that's the underlying issue here, is that maybe the standard has dropped and they're like, oh, well, we can just do this now. So I don't know if that's true, but it's a good theory. So yeah, but we'll move on. Obviously, I've harped about that long enough. But I thought it was funny because we're actually in a group together. Me and Will are in a group together, and somebody was like, "I'm sick and tired of IGN saying, this game is this game the next this game?" And it's like, oh God. I'm like, yeah, I get it. So it was just funny. It made me laugh. But let's talk about obviously Resident Evil 2 now. I don't know what they're doing anymore. I feel like they're just getting crazier and crazier. We've talked about the Resident Evil 2 Collector's Edition, but did you know that there's an Ultimate Collector's Edition that you can get?
The insanity is real with that.
Yeah.
I mean, really?
Yeah. So here's the deal. Over the years, obviously, Capcom has had some wild ideas for physical Resident Evil tie-ins. Bluetooth keyboard modeled after Resident Evil 2's iconic Lexington typewriter might take care of one of the coolest ones, though. So unlike the dollhouse that was a part of Resident Evil 7 Special Edition, or the chainsaw controller for Resident Evil 4, which is fantastic, by the way, if you have that, let me know. Folks who are really into keyboards or typewriters might want to get some use out of this.
Oh, you know what? I did have that. I don't know what happened to it.
The chainsaw one?
Yeah, the chainsaw controller.
You son of a bitch. All right. How can you not know what happened to that? That thing was amazing. That thing was awesome. So cool.
I don't know. It's been a long time since I rock and rolled. I don't know, I guess.
All right. Well, I'll let it slide, but just so you know, that thing's worth a lot of money. But basically on Kotaku this week, they actually, I guess they found that Japan is basically selling this just Ultimate Edition of Resident Evil 2. They're going to sell the keyboard that's shaped like the typewriter from the game, from Resident Evil 2. Anybody who's played Resident Evil 2 will know what I'm talking about. It's a Bluetooth. It's I don't know if it's Bluetooth. it basically just says that it has mechanical switches underneath the keys. And it has an aluminum frame, so it's going to be super light. It basically feels, it looks super retro. If you haven't seen a picture of it, go to Dad's the Game on Twitter, and you can actually see a picture of it. It's really interesting though, because it's like they have the keyboard itself. Sorry, I had a cough. The keyboard itself is about $676 by itself, so it's about 75,000 yen. But they also have a $99,800 version, which is about it's $99,800 yen, which is $900 for the keyboard collector's edition, which actually comes with the rolls of ink ribbon, stylized masking tape, and then there was another $1,100 edition that actually came with the monitor, like there was a computer monitor one. So they have just, I love Japan, and I'm really kind of mad right now because it leads me into my next next story about Smash Brothers. Europe is getting a collector's edition Smash Brothers. Japan is getting a collector's edition Resident Evil 2 edition. Once again, this goes back to my argument. We've had this argument so many damn times. I get tired of it. Why are you not bringing this stuff to the West?
Yeah, what makes you think, like, especially when people always talk about how, like, commercial the West is?
Yeah.
We like stuff. People like to buy things. And own stuff. So why would you think these crazy collector's editions wouldn't sell here? Of course they will.
Of course they will.
People waste money.
Yeah.
People waste money here. Of course they will.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Like, speaking of Resident Evil 2, I just watched another video just showing just how gory this one's going to be.
It's going to be amazing.
And it was disgusting.
I know, but it's going to be...
I'm all for gore, but, like, they were shooting off the limbs and, like, shooting the knees, and, like, it was, like, they're, like, gushy and gooey, and, I mean, geez, they took it to a whole new level.
I know, but it's going to be so amazing. Like,
it's going to be awesome, but I'm probably going to get scared. I haven't been scared of a Resident Evil game in a while.
Well, I was scared crapless for the good hour playing Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, at the beginning of 7, I was afraid, but then I got over it and was like, oh, it's the same thing.
I think it's with any video game though. Like, there's a breaking point to where it's like, you play it, you're terrified, you're scared, you don't know what the unknown is, and then it's like, and then you get your bearings. Like, okay, I can do this, I can defend myself this way, and then you're fine. And then it's
kept me on my toes more than a lot of games. I would say that one, the sound, I think was really just one of those ones
I think
where it really
Outlast for me was that way.
Was that?
Yeah. But I had to tell you a funny story about scary games yesterday. I had my buddy Jeff and his kids over, and they were searching through my PlayStation 4, like looking for Fortnite, and they're like, PT. They're like, what's that? I'm like, oh, go ahead and try it. I'm like, you'll love it. So it's already set to the last part of the game. I don't know how to reset the game because I don't think you can, but without uninstalling it, unfortunately, and you can't uninstall it because you'll lose it forever. But it was at the part where it's the last part where basically the clock turns to midnight, and he's walking through the hall, and the lady just flies through, and he threw the controller up and just freaked out, and he's like, what the hell was that? And I just started laughing. I'm like, yeah, she's there. Yeah. So it just made me laugh so hard.
Yep.
I was just I was like, and that's not even the worst part. I was like, that game is just terrifying maze of horror. So man, I love that game. It's such a good game. So is there a way to reset it? If anybody knows, please let me know. I don't know if you can reset it
to start
fresh
from the beginning.
Yeah.
The only way that I had ever found was way back when it was still available, if you actually uninstalled it and reinstalled it.
See, and that's my problem, is that, unfortunately, because you can't do it.
But what if you go to your save files and just delete the
save files? That's a good idea too. I'll have to try that.
See if that works.
Because I don't want to lose I don't want to lose the game.
You don't want to uninstall the game, but if you delete the save file, it's just the saves. So then maybe that would
restart.
Work. I mean, I don't know.
I'll try that. So either that or I'm going to be really mad at you.
Well,
we'll
then
see.
Go by you saying you did it, not me.
Right, exactly. Well, it's one of those games that I just really don't want to lose, obviously. So
yeah.
But obviously it leads me to my next story. We'll talk about Nintendo right now for a quick minute. But obviously, big news out this week was Super Smash Brothers announced new characters. We told you that they were having, the Super Smash Brothers Direct Conference. Finally happened. Interesting array of characters that they're bringing out. I was very excited to see some of them. So obviously, we already know December 7th is going to be obviously the release date. It's going to have the biggest roster ever. They're putting every, single flipping character that's ever been in a Smash Brothers before in the game, plus ones that they just announced. But obviously they I say obviously a lot. Sorry. They announced this time around that King K. Rool, from Donkey Kong, he was in the 1994 Super Nintendo game Donkey Kong. He's going to be there. They also said, let me see who else is coming. Reiter, am I mispronouncing that? He's going to be in there. Dark Samus is going to be in there. And then the really cool one, which actually has been really funny to watch. It started off with Luigi in basically Belmont's mansion, Dracula's mansion actually, and he basically gets killed by the Grim Reaper, and then Simon Belmont comes out and basically comes out there. So Simon Belmont from Castlevania coming over to Smash, which is super super cool. He looks amazing. Like he has a lot of abilities, like his whip and his little I guess shuriken, whatever you want to call it. Looked really cool. I'm really, really getting excited for this game. I think it's going to be really, depending on exactly how they do it, because I know a lot of people are purists to, Super Smash, but I think it's going to be maybe a contender. Yeah. So we'll see. There's also rumors out there, too, that this may be the last Super Smash Brothers ever. So we'll see.
Well, it sounds like it doesn't, to me, it doesn't sound like they ever need a new one. You know what I mean? Like they could just make this one like 3 million more times.
Pretty much. Just put new characters in it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know. But I mean, they also announced that there's going to be over like 120 maps is what I heard, like 120 stages, which is nuts. That's insane for the game. So obviously check it out December 7th when it goes live. I'm excited. I honestly, that's going to have to be a day one for me. I'm sure we'll have it at Battlegrounds, so if you're around the local area in Des Moines, you're more than welcome to come check it out. The other thing I want to talk about Nintendo too, and we've been talking about this for a long time, but apparently it's finally gotten a date. But Nintendo Online will be launching anywhere between they haven't set a date, they've just narrowed the dates is what they did. So it's basically going to be launching between September 17th and September 30th. Yay, Nintendo. Thanks for being clear there. Obviously they've talked about their price points before. It's
cheap.
It is. Year. Yeah, I mean,
we don't know what you're getting for that.
I've heard like a lot. Basically, access to, I guess, the online play, which is, I guess, a growing library of Nintendo titles. So it's going to be, once again, like I said, this was my concern is like, why have the Classic or even the SNES Classic if you're just going to be able to play everything through the Switch, except for the nostalgia factors with the little, controllers and stuff like that. But I'm not going to hash out old arguments, honestly. Like, I don't understand Nintendo. I never will. I give up on them. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, what are we going to be able to do with this Nintendo Online service that we're going to pay with? It's like with PlayStation Plus and Xbox, Xbox Gold, at least you get free games. At least you get access to their online play, online supported servers and things like that. And that's why they have dedicated servers, is because you pay for them. Is Nintendo going to model more games online? I mean, I could maybe see Splatoon right now, maybe Smash Brothers, but there's not a lot of ton. I mean, they've been trying to do a lot more with, I guess Paladins and then Fortnite now. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it would be nice to see dedicated servers, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Have you heard anything? Please let me know.
No.
Yeah.
I have heard nothing. Yeah. I mean, everything is speculation and rumor and like
smoke and mirrors.
I mean, it just
like I never know with Nintendo. Every time I'm like, oh yeah, they're gonna go this direction, and then we get cardboard. So that's all I'm gonna say. But obviously, moving on, I did want to bring this story up, and then we'll move to our last couple stories here. We're going to finish it out with Fallout news today, and then we'll talk about a couple more stories in between there. But any God of War fans out there? Anybody? Okay,
yes.
you, sir. Okay, thank you. Good news. Aaron Kaufman, from the developers, obviously from Santa Monica Studios, and the game studio responsible for the title, has taken to the official PlayStation blog to reveal the new highly anticipated God of War Game Plus mode. Will be officially arriving on August 20th. The new God of War New Game Plus will be available as a free patch. Fantastic. Although the access to the New Game Plus, you'll need to complete the story campaign of God of War on any difficulty. Already done. Which New Game Plus also comes along with a new gear, more difficult enemies, and basically they've also put in cinematic skipping, which is fantastic. So if you want to go back in, I guess, and
replay, if you've already beat the game, you should be able to
go back and skip it. Yeah. The new features are available, like I said, the 20th, but they also said you can relive the journey of Kratos and Atreus with all your previous armor, enchantments, talismans, resources, and abilities on the difficulty of your choosing. So if you wanted to up the difficulty again, but have all your gear, that's pretty cool. You can test your skills against higher level enemies, some of which might even have a few new tricks up their sleeves. Fantastic. There's unique to New Game Plus is a brand new rarity level of equipment to craft and upgrade. You basically collect a new item called Scap Slag, and you'll be able to upgrade your gear to the best of best from obviously our two blacksmiths there. You can play the game in a whole new way, exploring new customization options with extremely powerful new armor sets and enchantments. Finally, get back right in action with newly added ability to skip through cinematics, both normal and New Game Plus modes, once a full playthrough has been completed. This is going to be a huge update, so probably one of those days you probably would just want to leave your PlayStation, on standby mode, and just have the disc in. If you had to obviously purchase the disc, or if you purchase it digitally, just you leave it on standby and just be ready to download that thing come August 20th. That's pretty exciting. The only thing I don't understand, I guess, is there going to be, I guess, DLC for God of War? Because, I mean, they really left that. I'm not going to ruin it for anybody who hasn't played it, but they really left that story off. Like at a good...
They left it where they can... I heard already that they're working on the sequel, so...
Okay. So either... I don't remember. There was no season pass for this, right? I don't remember ever...
No, there was nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing at all.
So I don't know. Yeah. So like I said, I would really hope that there would be a sequel or some sort of DLC that you can purchase. I have no idea. Because, man, that ending, that dream sequence... Man, that bugged me forever, because I was like, really?
And that was the thing. And the only way you figured that part out is, no spoilers, because it doesn't matter. But you finish the game, you go home, you go to bed, and you have a dream.
Yeah, and it's just...
Not saying what the dream is or anything like that, but if anybody wants the true, get just a little bit more of an ending, go ahead and do that if you didn't already. But back when the game came out, that was kind of a thing that every website kind of told everybody to go do if you hadn't.
Right.
So...
It just, like I said, it just bugged me. Because I was like, the game is amazing. I love the combat system in it. I loved everything else with it. But I was just like, man, that is like the ultimate, just drop that anybody could think of. And it was just, like, come on. You can't just end it there. But they did, and that's all right. The story, obviously we talk about Fallout here because I do want to spend some good time with Fallout today, because I'm actually pretty excited in the direction that it is going in. There was an announcement this week, obviously, at QuakeCon, if anybody saw QuakeCon, but Sony, I did want to bring this up because actually if you're looking to buy a new Sony PlayStation Pro, you might want to wait. Not saying you're guaranteed to get one of these because they will be limited, but they're pretty nice. That's all I'm gonna say. I thought the Spider-Man ones were nice, but these ones are pretty nice. But obviously, it's been 24 years since the original PlayStation launched in Japan in December of 1994. The company has sold over 500 million PlayStation consoles. 525.3 million to be exact. Obviously, that's combined 1 through 4. Okay, that's not just PlayStation 4. That would be pretty damn impressive if they just sold 500 million PlayStation 4s. To celebrate Sony's releasing of the PlayStation 4 Pro, they're going to basically be bringing a 500 million limited edition. So it's a new translucent dark blue version of the console that will be limited to 50,000 units worldwide. These things are going to go like that. Yeah. It's going to be available August 24th. The PS4 Pro 500 million limited edition comes with a DualShock 4 controller with the same translucent blue shell, a 2 terabyte hard drive, which is impressive, vertical stand, and PlayStation camera. The front of each system will have a commemorative copper plate with the unique serial number attached on it. Some will have extra special serial numbers like 09995. The date, obviously, it came out. That was actually the U.S. launch date of the original PlayStation. Or 01115, which was the launch date of the Japan edition, which was November 15, 2013. Actually, I'm sorry. Hold on. Launch date, U.S. launch date, 0113, U.S. launch date. Oh, that was PSVR. Okay, never mind. I'm way off. So they're basically going to have special serial numbers to commemorate the launching of individual systems, is what they're saying. But they'll sell for $500, which honestly, like, if you get the 2 terabytes plus the vertical stand plus the PlayStation camera, that's a pretty damn good deal. I mean, I know the PlayStation was $399. The PS4 was $399 when it came out. But if you had the camera, if you had another terabyte in there, it pays for itself. So if you're looking for a really good, obviously it's a steep pill to swallow sometimes. But I would say if you're looking for, a new PS4 Pro, especially one with that much memory, I'd say pull the trigger if you can get it. Because like I said, those things are going to fly off the shelves. And I guarantee you 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, they'll be worth way, way more than $500.
The new one is so gorgeous.
Yeah,
I just want it.
I know.
Like there's so many of those that are out there that every time. And this is me and you've talked about this before. Mm-hmm. Like the early adopters get punished because we just get the plain ones.
I know.
And then
we gotta spend $500 more.
You should at least get like a one-time
trade-in coupon.
Like, just be like, look, I bought mine the day it came out. I got the PS4 Pro right when they came out.
Me too.
Can I please just get, and I just, it's so gorgeous.
Right.
Like the see-through, the way that it looks, the controller looks amazing. Everything about it just looks like I just would love it.
Yeah. I know,
but I own it. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I already own it. There's no reason for me to get it.
I'm not going to spend $500 on the money. Yeah.
Right. There's no point. But it's not fair that I can't get it because I already have one. And then now there's all these amazing versions coming.
I think and I know that's how they get you, but I think they honestly, I think if there was integrity to anything with that company, I think they should have a coupon that's called a mulligan. And they're like, you can just trade this in at any point in time for another PS4 Pro with a different theme.
Exactly. Like it's a one-time mulligan coupon.
I think that would be the most brilliant thing ever. Like you should just you'd have to register with your serial numbers and stuff like that to make sure it was legit. Like they're not just going to give it, be like, yeah, I have a PS4 Pro. But if you went to their website, registered your serial number and stuff like that, and registered an account, they're like, you will get a coupon, that you can use anytime in the future for any other PlayStation 4 Pro that you wanted to. So that would be sweet. I would love that.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, bravo. So, or even if they did this, they're like, you can have a one-time mulligan. Once you get your new system and transfer over your stuff, you need to send us, the system back, and then they could resell it and make even more money. I'm just saying. So sell it at a cheaper price. I just thought of a new business model for PlayStation. Now you owe me money and a PS4 Pro limited edition. I'll be waiting. Thank you. You can find me here. Yeah, that's not probably ever going to happen, but I'm just saying. Damn it, that was a good idea. All right. But let's talk about Fallout 76. I've been on the fence so much about this game. Main reason why is obviously because it's online only. Other reason why is because online only games like Rust, and this is kind of where it's heading into, is it's going to be a game kind of like Rust, where there's no NPCs. Everybody you're going to meet is going to be an online character. they said there's going to be missions and stuff that you can do, but they said that the missions that you find will be in like trash, or will be in a robot, or basically be in like a tape cassette deck that you'll need to go complete. But there are no NPCs whatsoever. So just a massive world full of just other players playing with you. I know I was excited when they said, like, we're not going to bombard each server. Like every server that we have will have like maximum of maybe like 15 to 20 people, which was really promising. Because if you go play like other games like Rust or, Conan Exiles, or even that world, Wild West Online one, it's like basically every time you get out of the city where you're safe, you just instantly get gunned down. Like just instantly. And there was nothing you can do because you were, you basically, for people that joined, right away, they were able to get out and they were able to get gear, and then they, punished everybody else. People are a-holes. It happens. But it was really promising to see what Todd Howard said about what they're doing. So obviously QuakeCon just happened. He actually was a part of a sit-down panel, a Q&A session, and together with his colleagues, they basically try to clear up a couple questions. So the first thing we learned is that Fallout 76 will feature a redesigned perk system, which is fantastic. So perks are now cards that can be swapped out and changed at any time. Each card has its points cost between 1 and 5, and with a maximum skill point ceiling of 15. Players will have to manage with which card to use and when. The even special skills found in Fallout games remain. Every time the player levels up, you'll be able to go ahead and spend a special point. Obviously, the special skills to unlock a perk in that skill. Perks also have available random. They said perks are also available randomly. However, with the new introduced perk card packs, which drop every 2 levels until level 10. Then at every 5 levels. So they kind of slowed down that progression, which is pretty smart on their behalf. These card packs will contain 4 random cards with random perks and are meant to entice players to experiment with different perks. So it basically entices you to keep leveling and keep playing, which is pretty fantastic. So besides the new leveling system, we also learned more about the competitive PvP mode. And this is where I was scared. Those interested in fighting another player can simply start attacking them. The first strike will deal diminished damage as an invitation of sorts. If the other player strikes back, full damage will be restored. It says, if, however, the other player is not interested in fighting, the attacker will still be able to fight and kill him over time. Since he is unwanted type of fight, the attacker will become a wanted murderer with a bounty on his head. He'll also be flagged with a red star on the map for everyone to see and hunt to further punish griefers. The bounty will come from the attacker's own caps, the game's currency. Fan-frickin-tastic.
Yeah, I like that. That is a great
smart system. And it says right here, it says, for those who are only interested in solo player or co-op, there is an option to flag yourself as a pacifist, in which you'll not be able to do any damage to other players. Lastly, we also learn how nukes affect the game. If these detonate in or near your base, it will get destroyed. You can repair your camp, but if you want to relocate, you'll be able to easily with the new blueprint system. You can make blueprints of your homes, camps, demolish them, and quickly rebuild and relocate in another spot on the map. Fan-frickin-tastic. So they're really trying to push this game into a place to where it's like, we know you're scared by the game, but honestly, for anybody that wants to go out there and be an a-hole, they will be punished. And if people keep on being a-holes, you can just move, and I think that's smart. It's just really, really smart to see that in a system this time around. The bounty system, though, dear God, that's amazing way to punish people that just want to go out there and grieve. So I'm excited now. I've actually, this article alone actually made me go pre-order the game, and I've already gotten access to the beta. The other thing that I thought was really cool too is they said that once you go into the beta, that's actually going to carry over into the game. So if you have not pre-ordered this and registered your beta code, that's an incentive right there. So what are your thoughts on that, though? I would like to know. So please,
I don't know.
Please elaborate.
I desperately want to play it.
Yeah.
It seems, I don't know. there's so many more questions. There's so many more things that I want to know. Right. And, you know, like you were saying, there's just, I'm still weirded out by how...
The online only.
Yeah, the online only. The way that quests are going to be handed out to you, only there's no NPCs, only robots and or like found notes and whatnot.
Right.
I'm afraid that I'm going to get bored.
From what I'm hearing, for what you can build, what you can explore, what you can do as a community, I don't think it's going to happen for a while. So I understand, because when you start doing those shared world shooter games, I understand it's real easy to play for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long they can keep your interest. And then I agree with you. Then it starts becoming really boring because it's repetitive. Yeah. It's what I like to call the Destiny curse. I don't know. I have the same feeling you are. I see promise, because they're talking about the map is going to be bigger than any map that they've ever done in Fallout. I mean, that alone. I mean, dear God, how long did you play Fallout 4? I mean,
that's great, but I mean, is it going to keep me invested to just like for wandering around and whatever, and if it can keep me invested in wanting to do things, that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't know that wandering the countryside for a week and not really having a real story.
I don't know if that's going to be the case, though. I mean, from what I've heard and what I've read, I feel like they've really put some time behind this one, because everybody kind of has that skittish feeling behind it. But I think they're really going to try to ease your mind with it. I don't know why I'm trying to sell you on it. I mean, you're either going to buy it or you're not. But I mean, I have a really good feeling. Yeah.
I'm going to buy it. I mean, it's a day one, but I'm just worried that I buy it and then it's going to be one of those games that I have such high hopes for, because I love Fallout, I love Skyrim, I love Elder Scrolls, I love all of those games and I love all those worlds, but I like them for what they were.
Right, they had stories.
Granted, I mean, I've always said for years that the one thing that those giant open worlds were missing was other people.
Sure.
I didn't want it to be an MMO per se, but like, let's say if you could play Fallout 4 Destiny style, where you could say, hey, whatever, or like people can drop into your world or drop out of it, and you could just party up and go do a bunch of stuff, or you can do it alone. That to me sounds amazing, because then it makes you feel like it's not such a, even though they have lots of NPCs, the game still felt some point like you're all alone. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So in this, at least this way, you're not going to ever feel all alone. You're going to feel like there's other people. It's just whether or not those other people are going to be cool or jerks.
Right. Mostly jerks.
Mostly jerks.
Yeah, but I'm excited. But we gotta get out of here. Our time is done. So yeah, like I said, it's day one for me. I've already registered for the beta, so I'm really hoping for good things out of that. Well, obviously we'll bring you more once we find out. But we got to get out. That was an hour. That was good. Thank you to everybody that called in today. I'm so glad we did that.
All those calls.
Keep them coming. Thanks for calling in. But make sure you check us out Thursday nights on the Podcast Radio Network. Thursday nights, 7 o'clock Central Standard. No, 7 Eastern Standard Time. Sorry, I'm way out of left field. 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Check us out, noobsandpros.com. You can find all our information right there, how to contact us, how to get a hold of us. You can buy a t-shirt if you want to, too. We love you. We got to get out of here. Thank you to Video Games Monthly and everybody else that we love. Player One Coffee. Check out playeronecoffee.com. Use code DADSThatGame at checkout for 5% off your first-time order. And we will see you next week. Bye now.
Thank you for listening to the Dad's That Game radio podcast. Email us your questions and hate mail to dadsthatgamepodcast@gmail.com.